What would you do if someone wronged you and you could never forget their face? Now imagine you could teach your children to recognize that person, and your grandchildren, and every member of your community, even those who weren't born when it happened. Sounds like the plot of a revenge saga, but this isn't fiction. This is the reality of the American crow. In 2006, a scientist in Seattle made a single mistake. He captured 7 American crows while wearing a rubber caveman mask. He banded their legs, he let them go. And for the next 17 years, those crows, and crows that hadn't even hatched yet, attacked anyone wearing that same face. But here's the question no one expected to ask. How does a bird with a brain the size of a walnut hold a grudge longer than most humans hold a marriage? The answer lies in neuroscience, social learning, and a survival strategy so effective it puts our own memory to shame. This is the story of the crow's revenge. Seattle, Washington, the sprawling campus of the University of Washington. Professor John Marsloff had spent years studying corvids, the family that includes American crows, ravens, and jays. He knew they were intelligent, he knew they were social, but he wanted to test something that science had only whispered about. Could wild crows recognize individual human faces? To find out, he designed an experiment that would change our understanding of animal cognition. Marsloff and his team put on a cheap rubber caveman mask, exaggerated brow, heavy jaw, unmistakably primitive. Then they set a trap. Using a remotely triggered net, they captured 7 American crows at multiple sites across campus. Each crow was handled for about 15 minutes, measured, banded with colored leg rings, and released. Above them, other crows circled, watching, screaming. In the weeks that followed, the team returned to campus. Sometimes they wore the caveman mask. Sometimes they wore a different mask, the face of then Vice President Dick Cheney. Sometimes they wore no mask at all. The results were immediate and unsettling. When researchers walked around without a mask, nothing. When they wore the Cheney mask, nothing. But the moment someone put on the caveman face, the crows erupted. Harsh, repetitive caws, dive bombing, mobbing behavior, a coordinated defensive response where multiple crows surround and harass a perceived threat. The 7 captured crows had learned to associate that specific face with danger. But what stunned the researchers was this: crows that had never been captured joined the attack. By 2013, the scolding response had spread across the entire campus population. On one walk, 47 out of 53 American crows encountered by researchers wearing the caveman mask responded aggressively. 47 crows, only 7 had ever been touched. The others had learned through observation alone.
So how does a bird remember a face and a grievance for nearly 2 decades? The answer is hidden inside a brain smaller than a shelled walnut. In 2012, Marsloff's team partnered with radiologists at the University of Washington to do something unprecedented. They scanned the brains of living American crows using PET imaging while showing them photographs of human faces, some threatening, some neutral, some associated with care. What they found was remarkable. When crows viewed the dangerous caveman face, specific regions of their brains lit up, areas responsible for visual processing, memory formation, and emotional response. One region stood out: the nidopallium caudolaterale, or NCL. In mammals, the amygdala is the emotional command center, the part of the brain that processes fear, encodes memories tied to danger, and triggers fight-or-flight responses. Birds don't have an amygdala, but they have the NCL, a structure that performs a strikingly similar function. When an American crow sees a threatening face, its NCL activates alongside the thalamus and brainstem, creating a neural signature almost identical to what happens in a human brain encountering a known enemy. But here's the deeper insight. Crows don't just remember threats, they categorize them. Their brains responded differently to caring faces, people who had fed them over time. Those faces activated reward pathways. The threatening face, fear and vigilance circuits burning bright. This means a crow isn't simply reacting, it's evaluating, filing, deciding. And once that decision is made, it rarely changes.
Memory alone doesn't explain what happened in Seattle. If only the original 7 captured American crows had held the grudge, the response would have faded as those birds aged and died. Instead, the opposite occurred. The scolding behavior spread and persisted for years beyond the lifespan of the original victims. The reason is social transmission. American crows live in tight-knit family groups. Juvenile crows often stay with their parents for several years, helping raise younger siblings, learning foraging routes, and, critically, learning who to fear. When a parent crow encounters a threat, it doesn't just react, it performs. The scolding call is loud, distinctive, and repetitive. Other crows in the area stop what they're doing and watch. They observe the target, they note the face, and they remember. Young American crows that never witnessed the original capture learned to recognize the caveman mask by watching their parents mob it. They inherited the fear, not genetically, but culturally. This is social learning at its most sophisticated, knowledge passed down through generations without a single gene being involved. By 2023, 17 years after the first capture, some of the crows scolding the caveman mask were 3 or 4 generations removed from the original 7. They had never been trapped, they had never seen the trapping, but they knew, because their parents taught them and their grandparents taught their parents. The grudge had become tradition.
So what does it mean to cross the world's smartest bird? It means your face becomes a warning, a lesson, a story passed from parent to offspring, season after season, until crows that will never meet you already know your name. The crow's revenge isn't emotional, it isn't petty, it's strategic, inherited, perpetuated. You don't offend a single crow, you offend a lineage. And in the urban jungles where American crows and humans share space, in Seattle, in New York, in every city with a parking lot and a dumpster, this ability isn't just impressive, it's essential. Crows thrive because they learn, they adapt, they remember. And if you're kind to them, they remember that too. Researchers have documented American crows bringing gifts to humans who feed them. Buttons, shiny objects, small tokens left on porches and windowsills. The same brain that holds a grudge for 17 years can also hold gratitude. The question is, which side of a crow's memory do you want to be on? Now I want to hear from you. Where are you watching from? Drop your city and country in the comments and say hello. I'll pin and highlight the most liked comments, and one of those places might just become the setting for the next documentary in this series. If you want more stories about the hidden intelligence of the natural world, hit subscribe. There's a lot more to discover.